नमस्सर्वेभ्यः कक्ष्यायां स्वागतम्। प्रार्थनया प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। हरि ओम तत्सत्। So we are after our shibir that we held over a few months over at CDAC, which gave you some kind of bhasha samarthya in Samskritam at a basic level, we are kind of ripe to understand it technically a little bit. Of course, I am not capable of going extremely deep, but to some extent what I have learned and appreciated with respect to the technical details of the grammar of Samskritam, I would like to share with you, and I think that will stand in good stead to build on top of the bhasha samarthya that you have developed, to put things into place and also give you knowledge as to how to proceed actually for further knowledge gathering from here. So this is more a Vyakarana Sankshepa lesson, and the primary goal of mine will be to look at how the words are formed. This is the beauty of Samskritam, whereas in other languages we don't really look at it as words are formed and nobody actually microanalyzes them. We are taught reams and reams of forms. For example, more comparable to Sanskritam is Latin, which is good actually, well structured. There is a certain technical grammar associated with that, but after that when you go down to the woods of English and things like that, it all breaks down. Very difficult to identify any pattern really. There is more exceptions than and less common. So that is not the case with Sanskritam. It's dominantly common and sparsely exceptions. Exceptions are there, not that it's not there, but sparse they are. So that's what makes the language beautiful. So we're going to look into the origin of words, and then also how words build into sentences, what are the technicalities involved in the grammar as we move to the sentence level, and even a little higher into the article or grantha level, what all the past masters have told us how one should go about. So pada samrachana, vakya samrachana, apicha grantha samrachana, etadapi kinchit asmabhihi pathyate. तो एवं भवति प्रप्रथमं भाषास्थापत्यम् इति लैंग्वेज स्ट्रक्चर इति पश्यामः. भाषास्थापत्यं संस्कृते कथम् अस्ति. सो व्हाट इज द आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ संस्कृतम. ओके, and so we'll start with the most basic. This may be a little bit of repetition for some of you, but definitely you will find that there is more to the letter set of Sanskritam than what we normally would otherwise know. There is a deeper knowledge to be gathered there. So let us go into that, because this is what is the fundamental element of the language, the letter set. Not necessarily as a written script, even as a pronounced syllable, they are important. So we will then go into what qualifies as a word in Sanskritam and what is the genesis and origin involved. Vyutpatti we call it. Vyutpattihi. Padam is an apumsaka shabda. Vyutpattihi is a strilinga shabda. Aksharani clearly is an apumsaka bahuvachana shabda. Their assembly into a sentence, vakyam, again an apumsaka shabda. So how the words join in to form a sentence, what kind of structure has been put in place by the language to build out a sentence, what kind of complexities and relationships are involved, is what we will study. Then we will try to go beyond just a mere sentence. It is not as if the grammar books of Sanskritam have stopped there. They have gone on to describe, not necessarily as a paragraph, but as a collection of things to say. Sangati, there is a kind of a linkage being talked about. Various types of sangatis and linkages that have to be there when you construct a higher article beyond a mere sentence. And then there are also tantra yuktaya or tantra yuktihi in singular. So we will understand all those. What kind of techniques are there in writing. More on verb roots. One of the fundamental things beyond the letter set for Samskrita Bhasha is the verb root or dhatu. So we have to start there. We have to start with a library of dhatus and how they are sorted and arranged as they form the very pedestal, okay, of the language. So what are these dhatu groups or dhatu ganaha, and what are their properties? What kind of morphology is involved with each dhatu? So there's something called vikarana pratyaya, and we'll talk about those. Basically also dhatus are of two types in Sanskritam, what we can call as aupadeshika dhatavaha or instructed dhatus, and then atideshika dhatavaha, which are derived roots. More on verbs. Next we will climb above the dhatu and look at what is a kriyapadam. The dhatus are not just roots of verbs, though above I have said they are verb roots. They, yes, fundamentally they are verb roots, but they are actually roots of even nouns. You will quickly see the way Sanskrit language is built on top of them. So they are roots of all words almost. More on verbs, so we will look at kriyapadam, and technically we call them tingantam because they take a pratyaya which is collectively identified as a ting pratyaya. We will also look at what are the different classes of kriyapadas, what we call as lakara in Sanskritam. It's called lakara because all those technical names start with the sound la or the syllable la. Okay. So verb construction in various tenses and moods we will see. There are 10 or even 11 depending on how you count different such classes, lakaras. Next we will move from having learnt a little bit about dhatus and kriyapada, we will learn more about how nouns work in sentences. So namapadam, which we call them subantam. Subantam because sup pratyaya in place of ting pratyaya used with kriyapada. For namapada generation we use something called sup pratyaya. And interestingly, even the indeclinables which technically don't have any declension as such, so you cannot say there is some pratyaya happening, but what we consider in Samskritam is that pratyaya is there, and many cases it is fixed or it is lupta or curtailed, taken out. So we still say technically they are subanta. So even avyayas tend to be called subanta. So they all come under noun class. So there are only two types of words in Sanskritam, amazingly: kriyapada, namapada. Finish. Okay. Of course, namapada has lots of classification and all that. We will see that subclasses will be there. More properties will be identified. What type of namapada it is, etc. So just as there are dhatus for kriyapada, namapadas primarily start from something called noun stem or pratipadikam. Pratipadikam. So there it is dhatu, and here it is pratipadikam. So from that you attach suffixes and generate the namapada. And also there is a sense of gender coming in with the nouns. There is no sense of gender coming in with the kriyapada. So there is no association of masculinity, femininity or neutrality with respect to a kriyapada in Sanskritam, but it is very much there with nouns. So we have to be aware of the genders, how they are dealt with in nouns. So and then the next important thing as we move into the sentence level at this time is relationship to the verb of these nouns. So there is a concept called karakam, where each namapada does something with the noun. So it has a pratyaya to suit that karakatva and how it relates to the kriyapada. Okay, so we will understand that. It's a very critical concept. Okay, next we will obviously look at the various different types of karakas and non-karaka vibhakti. There is one non-karaka vibhakti also. We'll see all that, and those are the noun cases. Okay, there are 6 karaka vibhaktis and 1 akaraka vibhakti in the cases. Then we will just take a snapshot look at what's an avyayam and get familiar with some popular avyayams. Okay, so how they don't have any association with any vibhakti. Vibhaktyartah nasti. For example, words like cha, na, they don't have any specific vibhaktyartha. They are indeclinables without any such association. But some of the indeclinables seems to have a karaka relationship with the kriyapada. So they have certain fixated vibhakti artha. Not vibhakti itself, because they don't have a pratyaya as such, we don't identify, but there is a specific association. We say, hey, saptamyarte, tritiyarthe, like that we say. Not in saptamyam, tritiyam, like that, okay, which we'll say with actual nouns which are declined. So saptamyam tritiya means in saptami, in tritiya, whereas saptamyarte means in the meaning of saptami, in the meaning of tritiya. That sense artha is added. Okay. Then we will look at a vast world where we move from dhatu to the nouns using derived noun stem. More than 90+%, 95 is said actually. So of the sounds of Samskritam, nouns of Samskritam, they actually come from dhatus only. So those noun stems are derived from dhatus using a participle affix called kridanta, kritanta. Okay, kridanta. So we will look at that. It's a huge class. This kridanta is a common name for 100 odd such suffixes. So we'll see some popular ones for sure. Some important varieties of the participles with udaharanas we will see, because we can't go into the technical Paninian world yet. Okay. Then we will look at another the noun stems, what is generated using kridanta and maybe some drop-ins, nipatas we call them. You can further enhance the noun stem. So there is a kind of prakriya or technology process, you can say, process within Sanskrit language where you can apply something called taddita suffix and enhance the noun stem. For example, names like Darsharata can generate Dhasharati, okay, and Vasudeva can generate Vasudeva, things like that, okay, where Vasudeva is the father and Vasudeva is the son, so on and so forth. New noun stems from other nouns. Namnaha pratipadikam. So katham janma svikaroti. Joining letters in words and sentences. So one of the, this is for example, next is actually amalgamation technologies involved in Sanskritam. One simple one as we do is something called sandhi amalgamation, which is not generating anything new but combining neighborhood words, okay, in a intelligent way, so that we can flow from the one word to the next word in the sentence without any contortion in our mouth. So all these sandhi principles, sandhi means joins, you can say, the joins between the various words at the sentence level are, and also within the words itself, as part of the vyutpatti process of the word, there are beautiful sandhis designed by the grammarians to make sure that the words are very congruently pronounceable, nothing is unpronounceable, nothing contorts our mouth, and so also for that reason generates very low energy possibility of talking without needing to struggle, like for example without choking and things like that, which is possible in some languages. So we will look at swara sandhi, we will look at vyanjana sandhi, we will look at visarga sandhi, again with examples, not at technical level at this point, but to understand the whole class of sandhis that are there, so that we appreciate that. Next we will look at something even more brilliant in Sanskritam called samasa. Actually this samasa is actually also a generator of an enhanced noun stem, but I didn't want to put it over there because it's a big class of its own. So we will look at how multiple noun stems can be related noun stems, not unrelated, how multiple related noun stems can be stacked up to make a longer noun stem, but still that will be much more compact than the relationship is described version of it, okay. So for example, Ramasya putraha, Ramaputraha, so we can kill the vibhaktis and all that and make it very simple, and everybody understands Ramaputra means Lavar, Kushar, somebody like that. Nobody gets confused. It's very easy in context to make out what is the relationship between Rama and Putra in that word, okay, contextually. So we will look at the major and minor classes of samasas again with examples. So there are 4 plus 1 one major variety, and there are some sub varieties. We will see them. Okay, avyayi bhava samasa, tatpurusha samasa. Samasa is a pullinga shabda, so all those avyayi bhavaha is in pullinga to go with samasaha. Tatpurushaha bahuvrihihi dvandvaha kevalaha iti kevala samasaha iti asti. We can't classify, basically we put them all in that bucket. Then actually further there is sub classification within tatpurusha, within bahuvrihi, etc. We will see that. A glance at Panini's schema. This is the pinnacle for us. I have not yet, of course, don't believe that I have material for everything ready. I am working through them. So we have enough to go for 6-7 sessions. So enough for a couple of months. So maybe I will generate the remaining material even as I continue teaching you guys. But already in my mind, what needs to be taught and how this material has to be presented is present. So obviously I can outline the course without needing the actual material. So Ashtadhyayi Parichayaha. So here we will go into introduction to Panini's schema of presenting the grammar of Samskritam, because everything we would have done before is just using examples and showing some things. But here we will actually start going into his sutra technology. And you will appreciate most of you being software engineers, and those who are not are also probably hardware engineers there. So both of you will appreciate how the technology of Panini is amazing, and it startles us to no end what he has done. So the aphorism based rule set, Sutrani, and the word generating and morphing engines, which is Prakaranani, how he has organized it. And also actually before that, when we talked about verb roots, we talked about Aupadeshika Dhatu. So there is a Paninian Aupadeshika Dhatu Patha. We call it Dhatu Patha. The database sets records are called Pathas in Samskritam. So all this is there. Okay, why they are called Pathas? Because first they have to be memorized. So they are called Pathas. Okay, any questions with respect to this slide? Anything that you were expecting to see and not there, then I can develop on that.
Sir, I have one question. Sir, adjective and adverb will be part of the Subanta zone.
Yeah. Because we will be talking about when we talk about how words are stacked at a sentence level, no? All that will come under that noun cases and all that. Okay, I'll be covering them. In fact, I'll be covering them in the language structure itself to some extent. You see their assembly into a sentence, Vakyam. At that time, I will be talking about all those things.
Okay, sir. Second question is, Dhatu Pata has a list of verb roots. So does it cover all the verbs of the word, or
it covers the Aupadeshika Dhatus, because it's a Upadesha, right? Those dhatus are taught to us. We don't go behind saying why kr means to do, why bhu means to be, etc. Right? So they are called Aupadeshika, and we accept that as the blind start. Accept and proceed with these sounds start. After that, everything is derived.
Okay, no, what I was sir, I'm just guessing, like all the activities or verbs are listed in that, or
the Aupadeshika Dhatus 2000 odd are listed in that. The Atideshikas, it is listed as process of how to generate them. There is no dhatu that comes randomly. They are all Upadesha or Atidesha, means generated.
Okay.
Any other questions?
What is the overall the time required for this in terms of hours?
Okay. That we need to stop when we need to stop, Varya. I have found one thing in life. It's difficult to show a full stop with Samskritam.
No. My question is not that. Whatever you have explained here, the 10 points.
This will take. For time restricted reason, I think you guys can only hold one session per week, so it will stretch. Maybe later when you warm up and there is a smaller set of people with a more intense interest, right? We can accelerate by having 2 sessions, etc. Okay.
But this is very interesting. The outline looks very interesting for us.
Okay, sir. We'll keep moving, and then see, one thing is there. Even after that first bullet point, if somebody stops, still they would have learned something because the movement is congruous.
Okay. And other thing is,
see, right side is all little bit advanced, left side is all basic. So maybe with bullet 4, you can say it's a level 1 grammar knowledge, and up to bullet 9 is level 2, and 10 is level 3.
Correct.
I can say.
Other thing is, this video is really helpful, recording part. Is there any books available for this?
Oh yeah, there are books, but best way is after this lesson. See, you don't need those books with my presentation because most of the material will be there on the screen, etc. Okay, but I can share with you. Basically, for number 10 there are wonderful books. For number 9 there are wonderful books. Number 8 there are wonderful books, like that. So, but before that, no, there are tons of grammar books that cover may not be everything in a congruent way. For example, Bhasha Sthapatyam and all is not very well dealt most places. They skip as a straight away start with dhatus, etc., without explaining the overall structure. So I think number 1 is where I am giving a lot of value add. Okay, by collecting what all I have gathered over time into one introductory summary. Rest you will get lots of books.
Yeah, there are things which we need to buy hard, Kantapata.
Unfortunately, at our, I understand that some of you are very young, but I think fall on the wrong side of life. Enough to worry about that. So Kantapata is, I'm not going to be requesting any of you to struggle with Kantapata, because any work that you do is with the computer assist also. So you can actually depend on the compute engine, etc. But if you have to speak live, you cannot depend on computers, etc. For that I have given you a very basic, the Shibira already, to so that you understand when somebody starts speaking Samskritam. Okay, and you will see that base with this technical knowledge will also increase your Bhasha Samarthya.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
Sir? Just sir, actually, when we are going through these verbs and nouns, no, sir, actually, we have the glossary of nouns and verbs we have created at that time, actually, So when you are covering can we also strengthen, sir, meanwhile of that glossary also?
Sarita ji, only one thing, because I am working from here, I would like to stick to what is there in my mind. Okay, so we can have some additional sessions where we can do those things. I would like to just go with this flow now. I don't want to disturb what is there in my mind to teach.
Okay.
If you understand and appreciate my viewpoint. Okay, all right. I think we will move forward. So we will start with Bhasha Sthapatyam today. So I know it's a 1.5 hour session. So what we will do is around 11 o'clock we will give a 3-4 minute pause for water break and things like that. Okay, and then take another half an hour session once you are back. Okay. So 1.5 is very long to sit, because you will need a break in between. So we'll do that around 11 o'clock. Remind me. We'll take a 3-minute break. Okay, that's how even my online classes for SamskritaVyakaranam I do that. Okay, so what are the sub things we have to see? Vowels. Okay, swaraha. Then consonants, vyanjanani. See, swara is a pullinga shabda, vyanjana is a napumsaka shabda. Every word. This is one thing, because quite a few of you are from South India. One thing we South Indians are have it easy in our life is only people more or less take pullinga strilinga and everything else takes napumsakalinga. So we don't have this concept of a computer being masculine or a printer being feminine, nothing like that in our lives. For us, masculine, feminine means people and some few animals like a cow, some lion, few things we identify with linga also, but largely limited to people. That is not the case for other Indian languages and Sanskritam. Unfortunately also, even though Hindi has the common concept with having the sense of gender with words, the genders that Hindi uses don't aid you for genders that Sanskritam uses. At least you will appreciate words have gender. That's what the North people would appreciate. But we Dravida Bhasha Pravinas, we struggle with this. So we neutralize everything. Like Tamil, for example, whenever they use Sanskrit word, they first neutralize it. Ammu endings only will come. That is not the case in original Samskritam. So you will have Pullinga endings, Strilinga endings, Napumsakala Linga endings, and correspondingly how they decline. So that's something we have to wake up to. Anyway, so Swaraha Vyanjanani. So someone wonders, what do you mean by Linga of a Swara? Isn't it just a name for something abstract? No, it is actually a Pullinga Shabda, and Vyanjana is a Strilinga Shabda, and you have to appreciate what they are doing. Basically, they identify the masculinity, femininity right down to the things that join together. The duality is very strong in Samskritam. Okay, and I think that is very scientific also. Slowly the world is figuring out there is this sense of masculinity, femininity, plus minus. Don't think that plus is plus and minus is minus. Both are opposite charges that work together, right? So that kind of concept is there very much deep in Sanskritam. Okay, and then we will, having understood the basic vowels and consonants, re-looking at them, we will look at how we generate two further structures, one called Gunita Akshara and another called Samyukta Akshara. So Gunita Aksharam, Samyukta Aksharam. Here it's in plural. Okay. So Vyanjana and Swara form this Gunita Akshara. Technically I don't have a name in English, so I'm calling it multiplied letters. Just going with Gunita being multiplication. And Samyukta Akshara is actually Gunita here means counted aksharas. That means we count them with this combination, like ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, like that. So then everything has akara, so there's counting sense is involved, or even kaka, kiki, kuku, like that. Okay, anyway, we'll see that. Then there is a Samyukta Akshara, which is the next beautiful concept within the Sanskrit Akshara, the fundamental, where we have this basic syllable being N star Vyanjana plus Swara concept. Swara being optional. Actually, I put a square bracket over there. So N star Vyanjana plus Swara is a N being 0, not 0. There are, of course, N being 0 actually. 0 to maybe 3, not beyond. Just because I said N, don't imagine dot infinity and all that. So like 0 to 3 Vyanjanas followed by an optional Swara. And Vyanjana themselves 0 to 3, so that also becomes optional. So Swara itself can stand alone and form a syllable. So this is the basic syllable engineering in Samskrita called Samyukta Aksharani. We tend to think Samyukta Aksharani means only the ones with Samyukta, but even the most basic absent Vyanjana, present Swara, it's also a Samyukta Akshara, because in our mind there is a absent abhava sense of them. So that's how we look at them. Okay, so then we look at how this basic letter set has been coded into sutras in the Sanskrit grammar tradition. We call them as Maheshwara's aphorisms or Maheshwara Sutrani. Okay, so there is a strong belief and association that these fundamental letters were given to us by the dance of Maheshwara with a damaru. So that's how we have even stacked. When you hear the sutras, actually you can sing them as if they are coming from damaru. So it's amazing actually. Okay, so we will proceed. So we have this is how we learn in our childhood, right? So we learn the Swara stack, then we learn the Vyanjana organized and the non-organized. So yes, the first lesson even in Samskritam happens this way. Though there is Sutra, Maheshwara Sutra way of organizing and dealing with them, there is also this Patha and classification which is very critical and applied also. For example, even Panini has a technical name for the Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga, Pavarga, etc. He has name for Yara Lava. He has name for Sha, Sha, Sa, Ha, some of them. See, this is all what I am showing here. Okay. So this one. So let's read them once. A, I, U, R, R, L, A, I, O, Au. Now what? This is the basic swaras. Okay. Then there are upaswaras, you can call them. There are two types of upaswaras. One is the bindu, okay, which we call as anuswara. Anuswara, both names are used, I have heard. Then there is something called visarga or visarjaniya. So that is the sound we add at the end. Ah, aha, like that. Okay. So this visarga takes many different forms. One as a full visarga and other as a two types of half visargas called hk. One is one type, and then hp, like that. So one is called Jihva Muliya half visarga, one is called Upadmaniya half visarga. At a very basic level, we merge them all and call them as visarga. Just as at a basic level we say akara is just a and a, but you will see in Sanskrit there are 18 varieties of a, 18 varieties of e, etc. It's amazing. Anyway, we will see that later. Okay, so now one more important thing here is a is called Hrasva Swara and a is called Dirgha Swara. See, notice the pronunciation that I am using. I am not calling it Hrisva, I am not calling it Hrasva, I am calling it Hrisva, somewhere in between, a diagonal line between Hrusva and Hrisva, not U, not E, somewhere in between, Hrasva, like that. Okay, that is the sound of this R. R, actual technically it is somewhere between Ru and Ri, it is R. Okay, without the E or the U coming in the end. R, it tails off like that. Okay, R, like that. R, R, L, L. This is not La with R. Okay, this is not L. This is not La with R. There is La with R you can do by combining La with a R and put one vowel below the Lakara. But this one you see has a specific font like that, continuous font, not a separated attachment. So this is L. This one is not used in the Laukika Samskrita, very much absent. There are not, unless you go to technical words, you don't get L in Laukika Samskrita. You do get them in Vedic Samskrita. So it's an important character. And so let's go here. A Hrasva, A Dirgha, I Hrasva, I Dirgha. Okay. U Hrasva, U Dirgha. R Hrasva, R Dirgha. L only Hrasva. There is no Dirgha variety of that. Okay. Then A, I, O, Au. All these are compound swaras which are, we still identify them as basic unit. But it embeds. A, for example, embeds A and E. I embeds L growth, you can say, on A and E. I. O embeds A and U, and Au is a growth on O. Okay, so they are like A and I are related, O and Au are related. Okay, one is called Gunakshara, one is called Vriddhyakshara, and we'll come into all that. Okay, so this Guna being Guna of A and E, and Vriddhi being growth on A to I. Okay, so that's what is this letter set. Okay, so there are 4 Dirgha versions only used in Laukika Samskritas and 4 Hrasva Dirgha pairs and 1 rarely used but there called L, which is Hrasva only. So that's the Swarakshara. What is this meaning of Swara? Swara is actually again a word that is having meaning. Swayam Rajate iti Swaraha. Atas Swayam Ravati or something like that. Okay, sounds on its own. That means it has a pronounceability without requiring any association. Okay, so it has a standalone ability to be a syllable. So all these belong directly as syllables. Okay, yeah. Then of course the Ayoga Vahaha. Why they are called Ayoga Vahaha? They don't have yoga in the Maheshwara Sutra, but they carry an important role. So they come afterwards in Paninian Sutras. He shows where you should bring in Anuswara, where you should bring in a Visarga. All that he talks about in the Sutras later. Okay, they come due to sandhi. Okay, so whereas the above are there, but we are not taught all this. We are not taught of the separation between and ha. But it's very obvious. You see, you don't have a symbol standalone bindu. It stands with the akara, ikara, ukara, whatever. Here example I have chosen and ka, etc. Ka is a neighborhood word, sorry. I have used etc. But it can be im, aim, any of them. Okay, same with this aha, ihi, uhu, like that. Okay, they also. And southern people, what they do, they pronounce the h of the visarga and continue the akara little bit after that visarga. Okay, ha, aha, like that they go. Aha, like that they go. They put a small akara after the visarga also. They don't go aha like that. They just go aha like that. Okay. So in the other tongues, slight variations of pronunciation. You will not hear the swara after the visarga. They will just say ah and kind of kill it there. Okay. Some places Panini himself says you kill it. That's why he calls them as Jihva Mulya Upadmani. He says if there is a kakara or a pakara phakara ahead, kill it. Don't make it ahka. Just make it ahk like that. Ahp. Okay, he kills the swara extension by force. Here, I guess he allows the two schools to exist by not saying much about that. Okay, so that's these are called Jihva Mulya and Upadmaniya variants of the visarga. And then that is Anuswara. Maybe I should have put the name there. Then we have 5 Vargiya Vyanjana sets, each with 5 substitutes, 5 components. So, Ka Alpaprana, Kha Mahaprana. This Ka and Kha column are called unvoiced because there is no great participation of the vocal cords in them. They are more coming from play of the air with the throat. But Ga and Gha, similar to Ka and Ka, they have the Kantha generation, but they add the voice box more dominantly. So these 2 columns are called voiced, and this is called Anunasika. These guys, you can say to some extent they are voiced, but more importantly they are having great dependence on the nasal cavity to extend that group's nasal variant. So this Nga is the nasal Kanthya nasal variant. This Nya is a Talavya nasal variant. See this Kanthya, Talavya, Murdhanya, Dantya, Oshtya. These are all descriptions of which parts of the mouth generate these sounds. Okay, so all these Kha variants have the Kanthasthana being dominant. Other participants are there. You can never prevent the entire mouth from participating. So who is dominating and who is critical in producing that pronunciation is what is identified in Kanthya. And Talavya, so Talu, Murdha, these are all portions of the mouth, the top cavity of the mouth, which is like, you can say it's like a small kumbha there, right? So there is a lot of play between the tongue and the top of the mouth in the language. Okay, so Talavya and Murdhanya recognize the different parts of the top of the mouth that are involved. Okay, along with the tongue, of course, and what is the gap, etc. There is a sense of sprishta and Ishat sprishta and all that. Ishad Vivruta means fully open, with contact, with mild opening. These kind of things have been identified. It's amazing. This is all part of the Shiksha Shastra companion to the Ashtadhyayi Vyakarana of some Panini. Anyway, so then Dantya, the involvement of the teeth, tongue and teeth, of course, not teeth alone, tongue and teeth, importance of the lips along with the other parts of the mouth. Okay, so they come in pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Very easily we can verify ourselves as we pronounce them how the oshtha or the lips play a dominant role. Okay, all right. So ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, cha, cha, ja, jha, nya, ta, tha, da, dha, na, ta, tha, da, dha, na, pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. You just see every row when we talk, our mouth contorts in a consistent way for that row. Okay, So if you are not contorting consistently similarly, your gnya, nya may be wrong. Usually we don't make mistake with na, na and ma. Some people struggle between na and na. South Indian people have no problem. They use both dominantly in their own language, so they don't have. But some particular region people who may not have seen that variation will struggle with them, but we have to develop. Na involves a rolling. Actually, ta, da, dha, all of them have a little explosion in the mouth. Okay, basically the tongue rolls back and slaps, ta, da, dha. So what it touches is called the murdanya portion. When you pronounce ta, da, dha, na, that is murdanya portion. Cha, ja, nya, that is talavya portion. So you will quickly see talavya is the behind top, murdanya is the forward top. Yourself you will see. Okay, and dantya, very obvious, ta, tha, da, dha, na. You check where your tongue is going, it's slapping around with the teeth. Okay, so further forward. Then pa, pha, bha, bha, ma, go up to the lips. So see how we are moving from kantha to talu to murdha to danta to oshta. Progressively from the bottom of the throat up to the tip of the mouth we are moving. And in the column movement there is air effort involved. So alpa prana, mahaprana, less air, lot of air, less air, lot of air. Okay, so these two are with less voice box participation, these two are with dominant voice box participation. See, ta, da. See the difference. Your own throat you analyze, you will see ta and da. What is changing? You are producing it more tonality with a da. Okay, and little bit different type of explosion maybe to go with da rather than ta. Okay, compare them, compare like that. Ta and da you compare, ta and tha you compare, da and dha you compare, you will know what's happening. You will completely bow down to the classification. Okay, avargiya vyanjanani, they not that these guys don't have those properties, but they have combination properties. You will see some of them have kantyatalu, kantyoshta, like that they go. Okay, so they do have classification, they do have all the other efforts involved in them, but they are not put, they cannot be thrown into one bucket. So because they sometimes borrow properties from two. In fact, ya, ra, la, va have heavy relationship with the swaras. Okay, there is a class of people who would like to refer to them as reverse swaras. Okay, I, for example, I, reverse of I is ya. Okay, reverse of r is ra, reverse of l is la, and reverse of v, au is va, they say. You can kind of see that. Au, va. You can see that. Basically the syllable kind of, there is a little bit of reversal of that. But they are vyanjanas. They are treated as vyanjanas because they have more vyanjana property than the reversing of the swara syllable itself is producing a kind of vyanjanatva in them, you can say. Anyway, they have obviously pronounced it and studied what's happening in their mouth and come down with all these determinations. And so these are all antastas. There is a la, just like l, there is a la. Okay, l. This is l. So this la is a reverse of al. You can little bit say. Okay, also it's a more dominant reversal of the l. Okay, so this is there in Vedic Samskritam. It is not there in Laukika Samskritam. In Vedic Samskritam also it is there as a substitute for dakara and things like that. Okay, this like that, but maybe it has its own. In Kannada, for example, it's very dominant letter. We use more of la and less of la. Not that la is not there, very much is there. Alli, illi, very much. But la is amazingly used a lot. La, they are very popular in Dravidian languages. Okay. Then the sh, sa, these three, and including ha, they are called ushmanas because they involve the hot air in their pronunciation. Okay, sh, sa. So what is the variant between sh, sa? This is the, basically you will see the tongue effort with respect to the roof of the mouth is varying in them. Okay, so that's what they vary. And ha is very much a kantastha shabda. Okay, is a voiced kantastha, you can say. But anyway, we will see them organized according to their properties later. So the patha, A, A, I, I, U, U, R, R, L, A, I, O, Au, Aha, K, K, G, G, Ng. Here everywhere they are present as Samyukta Akshara. Okay. Otherwise you have to go K, K, G, G, Ng. It's not easy to pronounce. So we go with the swara K, K, G, G, Ng. We use the akara, Hrasva akara as the compounding one for pronunciation aid. Ch, Ch, J, J, Ng. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma. Ya, Ra, La, Va, La. Sh, Sh, Sa, Ha. Some people think Sh and Sha are Alpa Maha. No. Sh is forward top. Sh is backward top. That is basically you can see one is a Murdhanya, one is a Talavya. But if we use the technical word Murdhanya Sha, Talavya Sha, nobody is immediately associate. So we Shankara Sha, Shatkona Sha. We say Shatkona Sha is Sha, this Sha from the back, and Shankara Sha is the simpler one from the front. This is a Shiva's name, Shankara. That from that. Okay. Some people use Shankha Sha also. Okay. Then Sa, Ha. So this is the whole letter set. Any questions?
Can you elaborate on voice and voiceless? I am not getting it.
We will see. This is not the only table where I just gave an intro into the voiceless. Okay.
Yeah.
The first two organized columns are voiceless. The next two organized columns are voiced, as also the last column. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And these Yara, Lava, they have voiced, unvoiced properties also, though they are Avargiya. Yeah.
Sir, what is the meaning of Vyanjana? Like how you told Swara?
Vyanjana, Vyanjayati, there is a dhatu, Vyanja, something like that. Okay. We will look up the meaning of that. To imply some such meaning is there in Vyanjana. But Vyanjana otherwise in Rudi Samskrita means like for example a side dish which is used to enhance the rice taste is called Vyanjana, like a curry or something like that, vegetable curry. So maybe they saw some relationship between Swara Vyanjana to name it Vyanjana. Okay.
And one more thing, sir, like between the sh and sh.
Shankara Sha and Shatkona Sha.
Yes, that usually while teaching us in the school, or my mother also, when she was teaching, it is called Patsha. That, that Pa is there, for that you put one line. If you see that in all languages, like in Kannada, I know Kannada.
No, because Pa and Sha have the one cross on the Pa.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, but what we more scientifically do in our Vangmaya is we just say Shankara Sha and Shatkona Sha. That is the classic technology used in Samskrita. Because we are not good enough to pronounce it so accurately somebody can hear it. Actually, let us say both our diction and our auditory skills are low today. So yeah. Okay. Anybody else has a question?
Sir, this voiced and voiceless is part of the Sanskrit grammar, or it is a modern concept?
It is part of the grammar. It is see Shiksha Shastra, Dhatu Pata, Akshara Patha, all of them are part of the grammar set, and then the Ashtadhyayi Sutras come into the equation on top.
So, sir, voiced and voiceless is part of the Shiksha Shastra.
I don't know enough about Shiksha Shastra to say a sixth formula contains that, sixth verse contains that. No, but it is part of the. Suppose we read the Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. Before the grammarian goes into sutra level explanation, he teaches all this as part of Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. So if you look at it as, for example, Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi is a entry level book which summarizes the grammar in a most compact way, memorizable way. So it adds Panini Sutras with his own very simple explanation with prefix requirement before entering Panini and Shastra, what all we should study. Everything is covered in Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi. So when we touch the 10th level, whenever we get there, we will go through all that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's irrelevant if I start saying things which I don't know enough now, with not backed with proper material on screen. So your interest may be for 10th. What you should really do is wait for that, or I can give you some references where you can go ahead and access the details of those things. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody has a self goal, but I cannot satisfy those straight away.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else? I have a person with the name Shabd, which is Apabram Shav. That is Shadab. Nice. Welcome, Shadab Varya.
Yes, sir.
Namaste. So your name is based on Shabd. So you are the fundamental person now for us for grammar. Okay. All right. So where are you from, Shabd?
I am from Uttarakhand, sir.
Uttarakhand, oh, okay. Because Punjab is
my
used
name is
Shadab a
Shab.
lot.
So my name is Shadab, Shadab.
Shadab is how you
pronounced
pronounce it, yeah? Okay. Do
Yes,
you?
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. I assumed it was Shadab like that. Maybe it is so. Do you
No,
know
sir.
it is so?
No, sir, it is Shadab.
Oh, okay. ठीक है. Okay. We'll move forward. If we have the break time, we will see. Yeah, I think 10:58. It's a good time. Let us take a 3-minute break. Get your quick water break, and then come back in 3 minutes. So at 11:01 we restart, please.
Recordings.
Okay, welcome back. So, like I was telling you, the swaras we only know it as hrasva dirgha, like that. Two variants we recognize for some of them. For some of them we say they are only dirgha. One point I wanted to make, go back. Yeah. So in Dravidian tongue we have a, I, o, like that. So we have two variants of a, two variants of o, hrasva dirgha. But that is Dravidian special. Samskritam and North Indian languages, they don't use a hrasva a or a hrasva o. They only treat them as a, o, like that. There is a permanent dirgha association with them. So yeah, so there is no hrasva dirgha variant for this. I and au are dirgha in both language, both akshara sets, south and north akshara sets. Okay, all right. So that's something I forgot to say, so I'm bringing it back. So here, so if you see, when we say in Paninian akara has 18 variants. Okay, so the primary is basically the length to which we pronounce it, right? So this actually, you know how Shiksha Shastra even teaches it, is that it says this is how the koli, or what you call kak, okay, coos in the morning, right? It's go kak, like that. So it is almost supposed to be mimicking that. So like that. Okay, so we call it ekamatrika, dvimatrika, trimatrika. So if you see the symbol, we don't have any special symbol for the Pluta variant. We just put the number 3 next to it, and this is used a lot in Vedic Samskritam, because for verse pronunciation, Pluta and even super Plutas are used a lot, especially in Samaveda. Okay, so that is there. That is the first variation. Next variation is across the columns what is happening. So there is something called Udatta, Swarita and Anudatta variants. So Udatta, which is the default, is, you can say, middle ground type of pronunciation, is this without any extra symbol a. Okay, in Loka we only use this. In Loka we use this and this. Everything else is little bit Shastriya. Anyway, so this one Swarit, what is the variation between Udatta, Swarita, Anudatta? The respective Vedic reciting people only can properly explain, because it requires. So, but basically you can say little bit higher tonality is involved in Swarita, and little bit lower bas, I mean going down a little bit is involved in anudatta. But it is not merely just the frequency upping and downing that you do. There is a little more involvement, and also they work in combination like is swarita following an udatta, is an anudatta following a udatta. All those things decide how the congruous tonal variations occur during the verse recitation. So that is why when we enjoy, for example, a Vedic verse recitation or a Samagana, etc., because they have thought through how, all the same way the Sangeeta Shastra describes, whenever you go from Sa to Re, do this wave, stay at the Re, go up a little bit above Re and come back down. All that is this technology. It's not like we are moving from Sa to Re, but even as we land in a Sa, we do some tonal play. That kind of variation is called Udatta, Swarita, Anudatta. This different sakara, sa, sorry, not kara, we should not say, sa, ri, ga, ma is on top of all this. Okay, all right. So that udatta, swarita, anudatta can be attached to all the variants, that is hrasva, dirgha, pluta also. Okay, so you get straight away 9 variants. Then there is something called, one other classification called ananunasikaha and anunasikaha. That means this is not like adding that anuswara bindu. Okay, different from adding the anuswara bindu. That's why we use the chandra bindu in the symbol for this. Okay, and actually if you see Hindi and some languages use this a lot. Okay, they do have like ha, when they say ha, there is a nasal expectation. It's not like ha, like that. We should not go like that. We should say ha. So that variation is being talked about here. So ha has the hakara and the akara. Ha, like that. Yes. So that is that. It is not a complete anuswara bindu like ham or some hanga, something like that. Just ha. Throughout the a pronunciation, there is a nasal quality brought into it. So see, like that. Bring the nose into the equation bit more. It's not an anuswara bindu. Continuous involvement of the nasal thing is involved throughout the pronunciation. That's where it is different from anuswara bindu. Anuswara bindu goes like the anuswara bindu takes force after the like that. But here's like that. Okay, so that is the subtle difference between them, to the extent I can pronounce for you guys. Okay, and that variant switches also into udatta, swarita, anudatta, producing 18 variants. Okay, and for those basic swaras which have the hrasva dirgha variants, you get all 18. Okay, I'm just going to mute with some disturbance is coming through. Okay, so I all the 18 variants. For those which are only having dirgha, don't have a hrasva, you get dirgha pluta combination. So you get 12 variants. Okay, like A, I, O will have only 12 variants, and L also has 12 variants because it doesn't have a dirgha column, but it has a pluta. So L, there is no L in between. Don't ask me why there is no dirgha column. It is not there. That's all.
Sir, Vrishwa will not be having pluta, sir?
Everybody has everything.
Sir, will not be having that 3 matras.
No. The pluta has, okay, sorry. Pluta is, symbol is with the number 3.
Okay, it can apply to also.
It is this whole 18 is a. All okay. 18 is akara. Okay. All 18 is ekara. Got it? Ekara has dirgha pluta. Then it has got anunasika dirgha, anunasika pluta. It has got udatta dirgha ekara. Udatta anunasika dirgha e. Udatta ananunasika plutaha whatever is the pronunciation. I am pronouncing it like a cow or something, but anyway, you got it.
Hello, Hodaya.
Yes, Varye.
Can you please make us to practice that how to pronounce this one?
Unfortunately, my own limitation will not I don't want to say this, what I am going to say is perfect. So maybe if I find a good knowledgeable Sanskrit person who has taught this, possibly Soumya Krishnapura, who is my online guru for some of this. I will see if she has got a recording of somewhere she has talked about this, and I will see if I can share that. Okay, I would not like to what you call make the error of saying I know how to pronounce, so I will teach you. Roughly what much I know I have told already. Okay. Roughly, let me try. So a that's much. Okay. Unfortunately, between udatta, swarita, anudatta, I can only depend on the tone, because if you standalone pronounce, all the qualities don't come out. Bhattvarya may have more clear knowledge, because he even during Vedic recitations that he practices in his group, they have rules of how to move from swarita, udatta, anudatta, etc.
From Vedic point of view, yes, but not from day-to-day practice point of view.
No, it's almost not used in Loka, sir.
Yeah,
it's a Vedic thing. So this table, see, that's why Swarabedaha Vedeshu Shastreshu I have written there. For normal Sambhashana, this and all are not so much at play. Okay, we'll move forward. So Gunitaksharani. So today will be looks like largely learning letters. So don't feel like you're in nursery, but that's where we are. Okay, Gunitaksharani, Vyanjana Swara Yoga. Okay, Vyanjananam Swaraihi Sakam Yoga Eva Vyanjana Swara Yoga. So combinants is the technical term in the syllable grammar explanations of Samskritam. Combinants. Okay. Ka gunitam, we call it ka gunita. This is so k plus a ka, k plus a ka, k plus e ki, k plus e ki. But remember, ki will have all 18 variants. Of course, ki will not have all 18 variants. It will have the hrasva column variants. Ki will have the dirgha column variants. Anunasika, ananasika, swarita, everything. Because the swara carries those qualities, not the kakara. Anyway, here I am just talking of this top left corner akara. Okay, simple udatta hrasva ananunasika akara. That's what we talk with. Okay, so ka, ka, ki, ku, kr, kl, ke, kai, ko, kau, kam, kaha. Okay, some people pronounce it as kan, some people pronounce it as kam, like kam, kan variants. That's okay. This, of course, like I said, some people pronounce it as just kh, some people pronounce it as kha, kaha, like that. Okay, both are okay. Don't want to say this is correct, that is wrong. These are because different regions we have to identify and understand how they pronounce things. Not try to say that is right, I am right, you are wrong. No, who are we? Okay, then same way any vowel any vyanjana can be taken through this. Some of them can't be taken through all this, like but most of them can be. Gaga, gigi, gugu, gr, gl, ge, gai, go, go, gam, gaha. Ha ha, hi hi. Okay, there is an error here, typo error. Ha ha, hi hi, hu hu, hr, hl, he, hai, ho, ho, hum, ha ha. Sounds like some magic verse, but that's what it is. Okay, for example, you cannot take ngakara or something through all this. You cannot go nga, you can go. After that, ngingi, maybe you can. Ngu, maybe you can. Gr, all impossible. So, not every combination, just because technically you can take that piece and put this piece, will make sense. So, the puzzle has some subset that are possible combinations in practical usage. Okay, you can produce the symbol on the screen, you can make some random pronunciation for them, but they won't be used because they are not congruent pronounceables. If something is not a congruent pronounceable, Sanskrit won't use it. It is very cautious about using syllables that are optimized for energy of speaking and still distinct enough for auditory skills of the listener to pick up the difference. Okay, Because finally what? It is like communication, right? Like you have 64 QAM. So you have 64 different potential symbols that you can map onto a short piece of radio frequency burst that you produce. But if you use something that cannot be, the decoder can't pick up, it is a loss of communication. That same principle is used in this. Okay, so you can look at it as a congruent QAM technology. If you didn't understand what I talked about, don't worry, it's something about radio communication. Okay, next Samyuktakshara. Okay, here the table is almost explosive, the combination. So we will look at popular, some with actual words, how they use it, rather than go over everything, because they are all symbols that are easily identified. Our eyes knows how to combine them, so no need to show everything, and we are not going to memorize this way. So here these are called the conjuncts in English grammar. Conjuncts, like we had combinants for Gunitakshara, we have conjuncts for Samyuktakshara. Okay, so this is the formula. N star verb, where n is 0 to 3, with the optional swara. I should again put a bracket there, with an optional anuswara or visarga. Anuswara or visarga. Okay, this is the, okay, I forgot to mention their participation earlier. So this is the mathematical conjunct formula. Okay, 0 to 3. I don't know about 4 being present, that's why I am stopping at 3. Okay, so V for Vyanjana, S for Swara, AS for Anuswara or Anuswara, and then Vis for Visarga. Okay guys, and technically there can be a bracket here, and I should say below this 0.3. Okay, so the first basical, like we say akka in Kannada, like that. So in Kannada at least we start learning that compound first. K, a, ka. Okay, it is not Mahaprana, it is not Kha, it is K, a, ka. Basically what is happening in this conjunct, there is an attack portion of the kakara, there is a release portion of the kakara. There is no sustain as such. So there is an attack and a release. Attack is the landing k, and the release is the exiting k, ak. It becomes more clear when this k compound is present along with other letters to its side. For example, dikkaraha. So dikkaraha has a dik component and a karaha component. So there is an attack kakara which comes from dik, and karaha means that leading kakara, that is part of karaha. Dik karaha is a upapada, and dik means direction. So basically when we want to banish some thought or banish somebody who said something wrong, banish not in the sense of some official king banishing somebody, and just go away type of thing. So that is when we use this dikkara, right? So basically we're showing the way, get away like that. So dikkaraha, so indicating the path to exit type of thing. That's the sense of dikkara. So there is a dik attack kakara and a release kakara. So dikkaraha. So you cannot put, for example, if there is only one ka, it is dikaraha. There is no attack release, only one ka. That's why that's landing kakara and the released kakara. See dikkaraha. You try it. Just try dikaraha versus dikkaraha. You will understand what is the difference between k and k. You cannot make any sense, because when you alone pronounce it, there is no land and release. When you pronounce it along with neighbors, the land and release become clear. So that's why some of them have to be learnt with examples. That's why even in our childhood they used to akka, like that they used to teach. How can you teach a child ka like that? Akka. Okay, now they have land release process. Okay, we never appreciated it then, but it is clear now why you need words to understand their pronunciation. Okay, and same way we have some other popular combinations, t, m, a, tma, for example, atma. So the land and release is the ma, atma. Okay, s, k, r, it's a double compound, 2 plus 1, skr, samskritam, samyak kritam, samkritam. Sakara is an agama in Sandhi called sudagama. So there is a sam component which is an upasarga, which is a short for samyak, which means properly, and kritam means done, and samyak kritam, that which is done properly, samskritam. But obviously you can see samskritam, samskritam, better the sandhi, sudagama, agama sandhi helps the pronunciation beautifully, samskritam, like that. So engineering of sandhi is to aid the congruence of the word's pronunciation, because otherwise this anunasika and the kakara, they struggle a little bit together. Some place here with the sakara, lead of sakara, there is a struggle, so there is a tail sakara added, samskritam, like that. Okay, anyway, that's all sandhi engineering there. I am going a little deeper there, but you see this, every component is explainable. Sam is explainable, sakara is explainable, kritam is explainable, and it comes from kr dhatu. Sam comes from another patha called upasarga patha, and that is sam upasarga. Bah, only Samskritam has this. Okay, and then sh, n, aha, shnaha, shnaha. Okay, so this shatkona sha vitrana. So krishnaha, krishnaha. So when we say Krishna, we don't go front of the mouth shakara, we go back of the mouth, because from kantha, back of mouth shakara is congruent. Okay, krishaha without the nakara, krishaha, that's where front of the mouth comes into picture. So that's the variation. Krishnaha, krishaha, that is Shankarasha. Okay, anyway, then k, t, ihi, ktihi, like vyaktihi, shaktihi, like that. K, t, I. Remember this symbol, guys. This portion is the kakara. Okay, this is the takara there. The single line there is the takara. This is the short for kakara there, roughly. Okay, so vyaktihi. When we write, we will actually put the full kakara here. We put a ta before and then a full ka. That's the way we write with hand, but the font tries to be compact because less space is needed for this type of symbol, so they go with this symbol. I think they preferred this symbol in Devanagari because they recognize that as a better compound symbol. So some of these compounds have a specific symbol, some of them don't. They just have a build, like left to right build. Sh, na, s, ka, t, ma, t without the bar, and ma, k, mother baby combination, like the lead and the trail are stacked like that. The top one you can call it the lead, and the bottom one we can call it the trail. Okay, and similarly here the left one is the lead, the right one is the trail. Tma, not mat. Anyway, ma and ta don't combine in the other direction at all almost. There is some word gamta somewhere may be possible, but anyway. Okay, so basically left to right or top to bottom is how. Like for example, see nga, ganga, ganga, nga, nasika, anunasika panchama vargakshara of the kavarga, and the tritiya vargakshara gakara. So ganga. Okay, ganga. So leading pronunciation is the top person, trailing pronunciation is the bottom person, and then it goes with the swara there. Swara is indicated with the bar, ganga, like that. Okay, I found Devanagari the best script, frankly. I mean, I grew up learning, of course, the Kannada script because that's my mother tongue, but later on, as I entered the prapancha of Samskrita and Hindi, I learned the Devanagari script also. Now today, looking back, I prefer the engineering of the Devanagari to the Kannada Lipi. Kannada Lipi is also great, but I know it intimately from childhood, so I love it, of course. But if I want to choose as a person, I would choose the Devanagari Lipi, because it is designed for beautiful writing with that bar and all that. It is designed for beautiful writing. If you want to write beautifully, of course, you can still screw up when you write this, but if you want, it's got naturally all the facilities for that. So similarly, nya and ja. See, one thing what is when Anunasika of the Varga is joining that Varga's letters in most places. We don't do wrong combinations.
Is it possible to reproduce the same thing in Kannada, for example? That is also from Sanskrit, right?
What do you mean? What do you mean by reproduce? Is it possible to perfectly write Samskritam words in Kannada? Yes. Yeah. See, Kannada script is complete. It has no lacuna to represent Samskritam. We can, entire life we don't need Devanagari Lipi. With Samskrita Lipi you can, we do that, no Bhatvarya. In our childhood, all the stotras we would write in, read in from Kannada script only, right? There is no lacuna. But if I were to pick, I would pick Devanagari. That's all I said.
Yeah, but I have not learned Kannada like this, what you are teaching today, because you are going to so
None of
detail.
us did. None of us did. You are not alone. They see, the problem is after nursery they don't go back to akara, ikara, etc. At 7th grade or something, they should go back and show the signs a little bit when our brain is capable of understanding. They don't do that. Everything is about engineering and all nonsense. So what do you do? That's why we are going now into that. So everything that I have said is 100% applicable to all Indian scripts.
This is amazing way of analyzing our language.
Yeah. I never stop being mesmerized by Samskritam. Every day, for example, our Guru Varya teaches something for us. When we look at what Kalidasa has done in a verse, it's just unbelievable. In one verse, there is one small verse of Kalidasa. There is an entire small video snippet. So when after our 1 hour, half an hour class finishes, I have to share the recording with the rest of the team. I use AI to generate actually a small snapshot photograph of what Kalidasa is describing and share it along with the verse link with them. It's just unbelievable. Each verse is like a painting.
Yes.
A little bit of actually video snippet because there is some action involved along with the static nature of the painting. Anyway.
Sir, one more thing. Sir, don't you think actually Kannada has more alphabets compared to the...
It has. So Kannada has lost some of its alphabets. Okay. Basically, Kannada used to carry a lot of nasal variants that Tamil and Malayalam still use today. Malayalam has the richest letter set because they use a lot of nasal variants. Basic Tamil has a smaller letter set because they don't even use some variants that Samskritam uses in the native Tamil.
Sir,
today, just let me complete, Bhagini. Okay, yes. The modern Tamil script has the larger letter set to cover the modern Sanskrit pronounceables and the nasal variants that Tamil always needed, which is done best by Malayalam. Malayalam has letter set to cover a lot of nasal variants that are not covered under basic nasal variants of Samskritam. Okay, this much I can say. Like for example, the Tamilians are very particular. You cannot say Vada Palam or something. We have to say Vaya Payam. The Nya they use with Va and the Nya they use with Payam is different. We don't even appreciate it. We Kannadigas, we use Bale Hannu and finish Ela and Na we use and finish. So they have a lot of nasal variants of the Ela, Na, etc., which we don't use. Right?
But they are whatever we are speaking about this Swara and Vyanjanas, no sir. But their Vyanjanas don't project so many.
That's what I said. The fundamental Tamil uses simpler set of Vyanjanas, collapsed. The columns are collapsed much more. That for the way they engineered their Bhasha, there was no need. Nothing to argue there. Okay. So nothing to argue. If you don't, for example, even if Samskritam, they don't ever use Gakara, somehow they design every word with only Kakara and all that, you can still talk, right, with that. Right?
No, that means it is more vocal, is it?
Yeah, it is a different type. It has had a different energy space on how the words are formed. It may not be as efficient if you had more pronounceables. Yeah. When you have a larger letter set with more congruent syllables, you can make it more energy efficient. Okay. And you can come with richer words with shorter letters, number of letters. If you have only 10 letters, like binary, if you use only binary, you need 64 bits to represent some useful numbers. Something like that. Okay?
Okay.
Annaravaria, you have a question?
No, sir. Actually, we have Kannada. A is there. O is there.
I talked about it. I don't know whether you are present in.
No, I was there. Maybe that is replicated using the Anudatta Udatta. So that Udatta.
No. It is nothing to do with Udatta Anudatta. It is more about Hrasva Dirgha.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and one more thing, sir. We were trying to that Sayukta Aksharani, which are not possible. We are trying to just get that combinations.
Yeah. Good actually. If you can come with a library of actually basically by data analysis of available codifications of Sanskrit granthas, you can produce all the used ones with the what you call intensity heat map of how often they are used. Okay.
Yeah.
And then show what is basically unused black regions.
Yeah, so we come with some rules. That second column is not combination with the first one.
Okay. So then you can conclude from that some things. Yeah, very good. Very good. After, but do it with the data analysis of what is available. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't yourself pronounce and conclude, because Sanskrit can surprise you.
Okay.
So better to use the data backed by software analyzing the available texts which are already coded into Unicode or something, where you can extract the data and then use the density of usage to conclude.
Yeah. So that second column will not come with the first one. Fourth column will
ka
not come
and
with
ga, like that. Correct. Because actually there is a sandhi. What really happens now? There is one enforced sandhi called jastva. You are supposed to soften the karkashas first into voiced and then move. And you have to go back to the karkasha if the following letter is also karkasha. Like that. There are rules actually.
Yeah. And fourth and third will not go together. Fourth and third. And the fourth and the second will not go together.
Yeah, and also the order. For example, alpa and then maha will happen. Maha followed by alpa won't happen. These things are there. Yes, correct. But what you do, first you make a guess so that you know what is that you want to attain, because sometimes usually we need to have some fruit in mind. Then you have to check whether the fruit really emerges. Is it you will get an ananas or you will get a banana as the fruit?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So where we were? Yeah, we finished this. We went. So now I will just pronounce these guys. Now I have talked enough. So let me pronounce. So I won't pronounce the individual. Dikkaraha, Atma, Samskritam, Krishnaha, Vyaktihi, Ganga, Vyanjanam, Buddhau, Vaktram. See, there is a triple here. Vaktram, Kakara, Repa, Takara, all are there. So not Vaktam, it is Vaktram. So order is K, T, R, A. Very popular word. You know, it's actually in Ganapati Stotra we use, no? Vaktra Shabda. So Vaktram, Vandanam, Mukham, Vadanam, Mukham, Paryaya is Vaktram. Okay, then Buddhya, very important compound. Dakara, soft Alpaprana, followed by Mahaprana Dhakara, followed by Yakara, followed by Akara. So Dhya. So 1, 2, 3. So full population is there here. Okay. J, A, Jna, Jnanam. So Ja element is there, Jna, Nasika element of that row is there, Jna. So but we don't go Jnya like that. We just combine that into a Jnya like that. But don't go Gakara, don't go Gna, Jnyan. But what has happened due to Apabhramsha in various languages, for example in Kannada we do use Jnya as a special word and use it. But in the north they make it Jnani. Gakara, Yakara is used instead of Jakara, Ngakara. Gakara and Yakara, Gyani it has become. For example, Punjabi, Hindi and all, they use Gyani. They don't use Jnanam. But we retain it in South and use it wherever we know it is coming from Samskritam. Yes.
In Kannada, in Bangalore they use Gnanam. But in our South Canada, Jnana.
It's more closer. South Canada, actually even Kannada is more pure in your mouth than our mouth. Very quickly when I talk to Mangaloreans and Udupi guys, I know how poor my own pronunciations are. They carry the best Kannada pronunciation. They are closer to the book. Anyway.
And how about this Hale Kannada and this one? Hale Kannada, Sanskrit and Hosa Kannada difference?
Hale Kannada is still Hale Kannada. Hala Kannada actually it is not even Hale. We make it in modern Kannada, we call it Hale Kannada. It is Hala Kannada in Kannada it's Hala. Anyway, Hala Kannada it is still a combination of Sanskrit words and Tamil origin words, what Dravida root words, but it is closer and more mapping to Tamil than today's Kannada. Okay, and it has its own apabhramshas. The later Kannadas have different apabhramshas. And good Halagannada document is very difficult for the modern Kannada guy to read and understand.
Yeah, what is the need? Because it happened, I think, around
12th century. 12th century, the switch happened. I don't know. I think usually when one kingdom usurps another kingdom, the tongues move.
Oh, okay.
I think that may be the reason. Maybe it was a usurp period. Basically, also that was the time we started getting invaded. Urdu words and Persian words entered our languages. Urdu is of course derivative from Persian and Hindi. So I should say Persian and other Arabic tongues started entering. And also within the India there were usurps which created certain variations, I am sure. For example, Marathi words are seen a lot more in Kannada because there was a movement from that direction. In fact, the Nayak Vamsha, they usurped right up to Madurai also. You will see Marathi influence. Not just in Bhasha, you will see it in culture also. For example, lot of weaver community are present in Karaikudi and all those areas, who still speak some kind of combination of Kannada Marathi in their homes. Tamil of course, because they are living there. It's a very interesting language they speak. When a Kannadiga listens to it, he's startled. What is this language? It has some elements of my language, some elements of Tamil, some Marathi, all mixed in. Saurashtrians, they have also moved a lot. Our own Sudarshan Varya. Sometime we should make him talk in Saurashtrian and enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. So, Gnya, Kshi, K, Sh, E, its own symbol. So, Gnya is so important, it has its own symbol. Ksha has its own symbol. Actually, it is Kakara, Shatkona, Shakara. That's all. It is not a new letter. Okay? Kshi. So, technically, you can write it like that, but we use this compound for that. Kshiram. Kannada, actually, if you see Kannada font, it continues to use Kakara, Shakara. The top letter is Kakara, the bottom baby is Shakara, and we write it like that only. We don't have a new symbol in Kannada for that. Anyway, Ch, R, A, Chraha. So, Krichram, Dhukkam is called Krichram. Kshiram means milk, of course. Krichram, Dhukkam. That is the meaning of that. So, see, again, Alpa, Maha combinations. Alpa, Maha combinations. Then one more Varganta. See, there is some, that's what Anna Rao Varya is trying to analyze, I think. What kind of engineering went into these compounds? Very interesting things to look at from scientific perspective. Kshatriyaha. So again, that's another use of Kshakara. But here the focus is on Triyaha. T, Repa, I. So, T, Repa, I. So, K, Sh, A, T, R, I, Y, Aha. See the blues I have done? See, that's what I am showing, this N star Vyanjana plus Swara plus Visarga. See here, one Vyanjana, one Swara, one Visarga. Visarga only one can come. So this has all three elements, but these two have Vyanjana Swara elements. Okay, some Halant letters are there. For example, look at this Makara in the end. There is only Makara, there is no other Akara, nothing follows. So that's also having a place. So even Swara is optional for that time, only in the Anta letter. Okay, it's not possible. So even the Swara alone is not possible in the middle of a word. Swara alone can occur only in the beginning of a word. For example, Atma had a Akara in the Swara. Do you see any Swara standalone anywhere else in the middle? No. You see only when you see them, you see in the beginning. This is another great important rule of Samskritam. In today in Hindi and all, anything they do, they write Ha and then put O next to it and all. No, in Samskritam, that Ha, the Akara of the Ha and the O that follows will go into a Swara Sandhi, and How will come as the pronunciation. Ha will go with Au. Okay, so Vriddhi will happen and all that. Yeah. So then look, Shrinkhala. See, this is not Shrang, this is not Shrin, this is Shrung. Shakara, this is the Shankara Shakara. See the different symbol it takes. And then the R, which we do recognize as the baby. Okay. And then Ng, Kha. A is part of the absence of any other thing. Okay. Shring without the halant. So Shrinkhala. Shrinkhala, which means actually a series of things. It's called a Shrinkhala. A serial, for example. Katha Shrinkala, we can say. Okay. Sh, R, Shri, Ng, Kha, A. So, Nkha. L, A, La. So, see this N star, it's very clear. See, Brahmandam. Okay. I chose to use the Anuswara Bindu to show it. B, R, A. Bra. H, M, A. Hma. Some places this, when Hakara combines with another Vyanjana, the reverse pronunciations are allowed. Okay. So, some places we do attack with Ha, some places we attack with Ma and then go with Ha. So, Brahma. In some languages they say Brahmanda. In some places they say Brahmanda. Both are okay. Sanskrit allows for those variants. Okay. But the way it is written, the attack letter is Hakara, the release letter is Makara, and then the Akara. Hma. Okay. So, if I alone pronounce it is Hma. But in Brahmanda, you can attack with Ma. Brahmanda. No wrong, nothing wrong. With her and its associate, this variation is allowed. Nobody says this is the way, that is the way. They allow that. Because it eases the pronunciation. Anything that eases the pronunciation is allowed. But they don't try to write it Ma and then Ha later. They write it always Ha Ma. Okay. Something
so
important.
This is pronounced as Brahma or
Brahma, Brahma. Both are okay.
Okay.
Brahmanda. But you see, Brahmanda, contortion. Brahmanda, no contortion. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
Brahmanda, throat catches, like you almost feel like coughing. Brahmanda, no energy problem.
Yeah, actually, the Govindacharya of Udupi, that
Bannanjay Govindacharya.
Bannanjay, he uses only Brahmanda.
Yeah. He is trying to be exact to the. He believes he is from a Puritan school and he has seen enough scripture to know. I think we should try that, though it is not just because it is making it difficult. We should not reject it. So he has engineered his mouth to pronounce it without energy loss. From childhood, if we practice, we will become efficient at it. Today, when we do, we struggle. Okay. So we have come to 11:40 and good place to stop. Now we have this high density slide to work with, which we will do in our next session. Okay. If we feel anywhere that the pace is slow and you guys do have some spare slot somewhere where you can work together, we can try to increase the pace, but let's go at this pace initially because there is a lot to observe. I will be sharing the recording so that you can kind of, if you want to listen to any portion, you have that. And slide some share version, not this full version, but some share version. I'll be putting in a link, the PDF, which will keep growing in size as we cover more and more syllabus. Okay. So with that,
a small request, Varya.
Yes, Varya.
Is it possible to do Samskritamized teaching also? Little bit more.
I am not doing because you guys have invited those who are English. Not part of my class.
Maybe in between you can use Sanskrit.
No, see, but Varya, it won't be just to them. Some of you have participated and have enough knowledge, but Shadab was never in my class. I think you will be lost.
Then it's fine.
If you have included people who are not part of Samskrita Vangmaya already, I can't really reject them and go with my own thing. But I will try. Okay?
Yeah.
I understand your request.
Yeah, maybe you can try a little later.
Yes. Everything can be taught with Samskritam alone. However, my capability limitation is within that. Could have been taught that way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. If there are any questions at this time, I wait for you. Otherwise, we will call it a day.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Namaste.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.